Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Please, can you raise your hand if you can hear me? I just want to test my sound before I actually start. Okay. If you can also, sorry, not just hear me, but also see my screen. So can you see my screen? And if you can see my screen and you can hear me, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on what's new in Revit 2019. My name is Rosa, and I'm a BIM specialist at Baynes. I currently provide training and support for Autodesk products within the AEC environment. And today I'm going to be taking you through what is new or what is new in Revit. We generally do these webinars every month. If there's a specific topic that you would like us to cover, you're welcome to email us. My details will be on the last screen. On our agenda today, we're going to start off with our Baynes introduction, and then I'm going to take you through my favorite top 10 what's new items for 2019. Those include the double fill pattern, multi-monitor support, levels in 3D, the tabbed views and improved docking or tiling, improved filter rules, uncropped perspective views, and also things like the scope box improvements, splitting railings, dimensions for cut curved elements, and new materials. There are additional changes, which if I have time, I'll cover it as well. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question. I'm going to try and change my screen if you're not seeing anything yet. Okay. If you can hear me and see my screen, please. I'm going to try again. If you can see me and if you can see my screen as well as hear me, please raise your hand. Cool, thank you. Okay, so this is our Revit, what's new in Revit 2019. Okay, so my audio is breaking up. I'm going to try and make it a bit louder. Okay, let's try again. Is this clearer? I just want everything sorted before we actually start. If you can see me, if you can see my screen as well as hear me, then please raise your hand. Cool. Okay. So, okay, thank you so much. Okay. So again, welcome to our What's New in Revit 2019. On our agenda are these items. This is my favorite new items. Okay. There are additional ones which, if I have time, I'll cover those also. But we're going to start off with our Baynes introduction, right? So the first thing is, who is Baynes? And basically, Baynes is the largest or the fastest growing design and technology partner in South Africa. You'll see that we do a number of things. We are the largest Autodesk authorized gold partner, and we basically specialize in software for the AEC environment, as well as process, plant, and manufacturing. Right? We also sell it for something called CAD learning, which is your online portal. If you So at Baker Baynes, we have certain beliefs. Okay.
Okay, this is clearer. Please, can you raise your hand
Message me in
or
the chat. I'm just trying to fix my audio. Okay, if at any point you are unable to hear me, you are welcome to just message me and then I will repeat it or I'll try and fix it. Okay, so at Better Brains, we have certain beliefs. The first one is in designing a better world. So basically, we would like to play a technological role at how we influence the impact of design in today's changing environment. Right? We also believe in delivering a better project or product. And basically, we want to assist you to improve on your projects. And the last one, and it's one of my favorites, is technology adoption. So at Baker Brains, we don't just want to sell you the software, but we want to help you adopt the software or how to learn how to use it more efficiently, right? Um, so those are our three main beliefs at Baker Brains. Okay, I have another question. Just gonna go through my questions. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and just try and fix my audio.
Okay. Please tell me if this is more clear. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so it seems you can hear me now. Okay, so on our so another question. Cool. Thank you so much for replying. Okay, so the way Revit, the 2019 one is basically planned is that it supports a roadmap, and this roadmap includes how to design, optimize, and connect, right? So in terms of designing, the 2019 has now been improved, and therefore it enables users to efficiently create info that capture design intent. And in order to optimize it, the new features are now, it allows you to efficiently analyze, iterate, and make more informed decisions. And then in order to connect better, it's empowered the project teams by helping them connect their workflows and therefore collaborate across the project lifecycle. When we start off with our first what's new in 2019, it's the double fill pattern, right? And in terms of the double fill pattern, this is probably one of the most exciting new features, and it solves a lot of problems with patterns compared to earlier releases. So basically what it means is you now have two patterns for each region and material, one in the foreground and one in the background. Right, in this example, which you see on my screen, we've created a masonry style fill region with a solid gray in the background. Now, in the previous versions of Revit, you had to literally create two different region styles. So in the past, you needed to create two. Okay, do you have a question? Okay, no. So you can all still hear me. I'm just double checking my sound. So in the previous regions, you basically have to create two styles and put them over each other to get the same effect. What you see now in 2019 is that there's a background parameter that's also replaced by a masking parameter. So you can either tick it on or off. Okay, so this feature I see is going to be much more useful if you want to indicate multiple colors for exterior materials while you're using the hidden style in your visual visual styles. It's also helpful because it helps you to add a great tint to existing elements when using the phases command, right? And essentially, when we are looking at the double fill pattern, it actually just allows you to therefore communicate design intent easier by creating more complex fill patterns. Um, and if you look at my screen, you'll actually see that the double fill pattern it allows for improved readability of project documentation. So obviously it makes things easier because, like I said when I started, you don't have to create two different hatches. You can just do it at one go or in one go, right? I do have a little video also, and you can actually follow how we do this, right? So I'm going to play the video.
Create more complex fill patterns by layering two fill patterns on top of one another. In both projection and cut situations, you can use background fill pattern and overlay with a foreground fill pattern. This opens up possibilities for more complex and robust graphic conditions. Background fill patterns are available for nearly all elements that support fill patterns. This includes filled regions, visibility graphic display overrides, object level overrides, and for both projection and cut settings of material definitions.
Yeah, this webinar is going to be made live afterwards. So everything in this webinar, including the videos, will be live and you'll be able to download it, right? The second thing we're going to look at, the second one we are going to look at is the multi-monitor support. And this is by far my favorite. Okay. Now, I remember when we started off, we only used to have one monitor. These days, almost everybody has a second monitor. And up to this point, Revit only allowed for views, Revit didn't allow you to spread your views on multiple screens. If you remember correctly, the only use for the second monitor was to maybe put your project browser on or your project properties, right? And the only workaround for this issue was to then open a second Revit, which was awkward because it kind of slowed down your process and it depended on how good your PC was. Now, in Revit 2019, it now allows you to spread your views on your second display. And as you see here, this is exactly what happens. So you can have, this is what it used to look like. And what you can do now is you can actually spread it on screen 1 and screen 2, right? Um, and the beauty of this is that it allows you to now increase your working space because it helps you to focus better on your design work. So what you have now is you can have your 3D model on one screen and you can have a floor plan on the other screen. And you can see both of these simultaneously. Right, so again, the way you would do it is you would drag a view out of the Revit application and you would literally move it to another window, right, or another monitor. So again, I've got a video on this, which I'm going to play. Okay. Hi, can you try? I mean, I've just changed my headset again. If this is clearer, please just give me a message in the chat panel, because I've actually just changed it now. Okay, so the video for this specific one is, yeah.
Most design professionals using Revit have more than one display attached to their system. Revit fully supports the use of multiple displays. This means you can utilize all of the attached screens for displaying views and other interface elements. Simply drag a Views tab and drop it on a different monitor. You can drag as many views onto other monitors. Most design professionals using Revit have more than one display attached to their system. Revit fully supports the use of multiple displays. This means you can utilize all of the attached screens for displaying views and other interface elements. Simply drag a Views tab and drop it on a different monitor. You can drag as many views onto other monitors as you like. Maximize them to full screen, tile them, or minimize them as needs dictate. Maximize the use of your valuable screen real estate with Revit's multi-monitor support. All of the
Okay, so the third one is levels in 3D. Right? Basically, what you can do is now you can activate the visibility of levels in your visibility graphics menu of all the 3D views. And as you see in my image, you'll see the actual 3D levels you'll see the levels in an actual 3D, right? The levels is also visible in your perspective view, although it's not always shown up. So you need to obviously adjust it and show it. But these are actual levels, and it actually shows you. So you can so there's your levels, right? And what I like about this one is that it actually helps you save time and reduce the need for additional working views. Okay, when we look at a little, you'll actually see how this
levels are perhaps the most
works.
important Revit element. This is any important vertical location within your project. You can view and edit levels in any view, including orthographic and perspective 3D views. If levels are not displayed in 3D, you can easily turn them on using the Annotations tab of Visibility Graphic Overrides dialog for the active view window. With a 3D level selected, you can enable or disable its annotation, modify its parameters like height and name, and even resize its extents using the grip handles at the edges. Gain key insight into the important datum heights within your project with 3D display of level elements.
Okay, I see that I have questions. Again, if you can't hear me, I have changed my headset, like I said, so it should be clearer now. If you still can't hear me, then just let me know. Okay. The next one is the tabbed view option. And in terms of this, Revit now, the 2019 now offers you a new tabbed function. You also have a little icon next to the view name showing the view category. All right, so I'll show you all those. So initially in 2018, this is what it used to look like. Now in 2019, it actually shows you there's a tabbed view option. Right? So what I like about this is that it makes it easier for you to tab views. And also this change in essence makes it easier for you to navigate between the views in Revit. And it also allows you to then arrange your views better. And you can easily now see which view has an open tab. Because I remember essentially what you had to do is you had to go to your tab views and then use the drop down and see what is open. By this one, you can just see the tab views. Again, I'm going to show you the video, which will be made available after the webinar.
It is common for Revit users to work with multiple project views opened simultaneously.
So remember, in the past, you needed to click on this little icon here to see all the views that are open.
Easily see which
Now
views you have open with tabbed views. Tabbed views allow you to see your open view windows at a glance. To switch windows, simply click on a View tab. Simply drag a Views tab to relocate it. Views can be dragged and left floating out of frame, or they can be docked to any side of the application.
So if you're in the past, you do the window tile option, which will tile you all your different views. By now, you can actually just drag it from the tab views.
With easy to understand docking previews appearing to assist you in placement. Arrange your screen exactly how you wish for maximum productivity using view tabs and floating, docked, and tiled views.
The next one that we're going to look at is the improved filter command. Now, in older versions of Revit, you were always limited to the and or rule. They call it the or rule. And that often meant that you need to create a whole lot of different filters. With 2019, you can use the or rule, which allows you to group filters in the same rule. Right? I'm going to show you how it works. You can actually work look like in 28. Now, because you the or rule in 20 is now improved working also greater flexibility when you're designing complex filters. So within apply that filter.
Filters allow you to query your model for information based on one or more user-defined querying, yes or no answers. In situations where you want to create a more complex query, you can string together more than one question. Both and or constructions are supported by filters. When using an and construction, all rules must be true for the filter to be applied. With an or construction, any one of the possibilities included within the filter may be true in order for the rule to be applied. Or filters allow you to capture more possibilities when devising a complex filter rule.
Okay, so you see how the filters can actually improve, or how the filter command has been improved in 2019.
Filters allow.
Next one, we're going to look at uncropped perspective, right? And in terms of the uncropped perspective views, you'll see that 3D views in Revit now support orthographic as well as perspective projections. Right? You can work full uncropped tool view in the view control. Right? So you see in the previous one you only had perspective. Now you can actually, you've got a drop down that allows you to choose either or. When you're switching back and forth between the default 3D and the perspective one, it's now been more streamlined. And you can then toggle easier between the projection mode control on the properties palette. Right? Because you simply open a 3D view, you make your view adjustments using it's so much easier to then navigate to of your solid line or when you look
cropped and perspective to make that perspective view fit freely. Crop perspective or from crop control bar. Sunny sheet.
welcome to message me in the chat panel. Right, you're welcome to message me in the chat panel, or you can just raise your hand and then ask me. Type a message, or sorry, raise your hand. And then I'll click name and then reply to you. Okay, for now, because nobody said anything, that my audio screen are both clear. The next thing is scope box improvement, right? And in terms of the scope box improvement, we're looking at, as you know, a scope box is used to control the extent of datum elements as well as the cross views. In the scope box, you should change all the things. When you apply the scope in 3D, the section box of that view will also enabled will automatically match the size and shape of that scope, right? In a way, the scope box is displayed and then modify the shape in the 3D view section box and adjust accordingly. A scope box can now be assigned to a view or a datum element from the properties palette. Just minimize it. Right, so you can see here, you can actually apply it onto your, you can apply the scope box to your 3D, right? And there's also a list of scope boxes which is sorted alphanumerically, right? So you obviously you can now click, there's a little drop down under your scope box that you can choose from. And what I like about this is that there's now a consistent behavior of levels across both 2D as well as 3D. Okay. I'm going to try and open my 2019 for you. Just open my Revit 2019. I don't have a live video for that specific one, so I'm going to try and find it on my Revit. Right. Okay. The next one is the split railing option. And in terms of split railing options, what we're looking at is now splitting an automatic rail for a stair used to be quite complicated. What you had to do is you had to copy and paste the railing, then modify both instances. What we now have is you can now use the split tool on the railings, which is similar on how you used to split a wall, right? And what it is, once you've done that, you click on the delete inner segment, right? And then you literally remove the railing section between two of the clicks. And it produces a similar effect to splitting with gap. Remember the splitting with gap option? And that can now be, that we used to use between walls or lines. If you're using the multi-level tools, which was introduced in Revit 2018, splitting a railing will affect all the identical instances in that specific group. Um, on the same topic of splits and railings, it's a useful way when you want to adjust automatically generated railings on stairs, and it's fully supported, like I said, on multi-story stairs, right? And what I like about this is there's now more control on the railings generated from the railing path. When we look at that video, it actually shows you how it works.
Railings can be divided into more than one object using the split element tool. This can be used with or without the delete intersegment option. When unchecked, each click of the split tool will break the railing into two railings at the point of split. When delete intersegment is enabled, two clicks are required, and the segment between the two clicks will be removed, leaving two railings with a space in between. Splitting railings is a useful way to modify existing rails and guardrails, adjust generated railings stairs, and fully supported understory stairs.
Okay. The ninth one that we are going to look at is dimensions for curved objects, right? And then the last one will be, or the last one for now, will be appearances. When we are looking at dimensions for curved objects, now we're looking at things that's more accurate for documentation, and we're looking for end-to-end workflow in terms of bridges. Dimensions, basically what it means is dimensions now work on view-specific geometry, such as the edges or the points by a view cut. Now, in the previous versions of Revit, cutting through a curved element was quite awkward, right? You couldn't use dimensions on the elements, and it forced users to draw 2D lines over the curved elements, which obviously, in terms of the BIM way of thinking, is not ideal, right? We want to get away from drawing 2D lines because we would like everything to be connected. In Revit 2019, you can now use dimensions on any cut curved object. And you can see here what you would do. You can then, in plan view, you can do a cut and you can dimension it on that angle, right? This capability enhances the workflow of producing documentation, right? Especially for fabrication options or site installations of complex 3D elements. And the cool thing is the dimensions for the curved object in section views can also be used in all the disciplines. So say, for example, when you're doing infrastructure such as bridges, decks or girders, it literally now works for those also, as well as for complex architectural items, right? And the bottom line for this one is that there's more precise documentation, which enhances the end-to-end work for bridges, as well as it supports documentation for complicated or complex architectural forms. Okay, just that you guys can't see my screen again. Can I get an indication of what was the last screen that you saw? Okay, can I get an indication of the last screen that you saw? Because apparently you can't see the screen. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the split screen option just so that I can show you the split screen option again. Okay, if you can hear me, please raise your hand because apparently my sound is also breaking up. Can you hear me? Please raise your hand. Cool, okay. So like I just said now, on dimensions for curved objects, it allows for more accuracy in terms of documentation for more complex forms. The last one that we're going to cover is new material appearances, right? And when we're talking about new appearances, the 2019 option includes new physical assets that's built to provide more realistic renderings. Now, when you're opening your material browser, you can now see a small yellow icon, which is there, right? And that indicates the material preview, okay? It also indicates that you must update your material with these new assets. If you go to the physical menu asset menu, you can find the new appearance asset next to, let me just double check here, so you can find it next to the category. And you can actually distinguish the old assets from the new ones by the exclamation mark that's here. And what I like about this is that it's this improved rendering quality, right? And it's nicer, especially if in architectural, if you now want to show your render to your clients.
To improve the quality of renderings, a collection of high-quality, physically based appearance assets is available that takes advantage of the physically based rendering engine in Revit. These assets are based on the native shaders within the Autodesk Ray Tracer that allow for accurate light reflection and diffusion. While not all assets in the provided libraries use the physically based appearance assets, a large collection is provided that includes items like carpets, ceilings, stone and concrete, glass and roofing, wood, and many more. Existing materials can easily be modified to take advantage of the higher quality physically based appearance assets as desired. However, this is not required, and both physically based and older assets can coexist within the same model and renderings.
Okay, so those are my 10 favorite new things in Revit 2019. Like I said, there are a few more. We'll see at the end if we can go through it. For now, I'm going to show you the overview video, right? If I know there was quite a few interruptions in this presentation, if you would like me to send you more information, or you're struggling to download the actual presentation afterwards, or you want to see the videos, drop me an email and I will send you links on where to view it. Right? The overview video will show you what the changes are. Okay, so the overview video obviously showed you the additional ones as well. I've only covered, like I said, my 10 favorites. If you would like to see the others, you're welcome to email me and I will drop you a link on where to find it, or we might do a webinar later on which shows the additional ones, right? The 10 that I covered in summary is, or it includes the double fill patterns, the multi-monitor support, viewing your levels in 3D, the tabbed views or improved docking and tiling, the improved filter rules, uncropped perspective views, the scope box improvements, split railings, dimensions for cut curved elements, and the new material improved appearances. Okay, those are the 10 that I covered, but of course in the video you saw additional ones. That is the end of our webinar. If you have any questions, I'm still online, so you're welcome to message me in the chat panel. On my screen, you will see all links for social medias for Baker Baynes, as well as my email address. So please drop me an email if you would like more information on this webinar, or if you have a specific topic that you would like us to cover. So again, thank you for joining this webinar. I'm Feroza, and I'm Feroza at Baker Baynes, and you are welcome to drop me an email for any additional information. Thank you. Okay, there are no additional questions. Then I'm going to end the presentation. Again, my email is on the screen if you do want to ask me anything. Otherwise, drop me an Otherwise, drop me an email and then just let me know what you thought of the webinar, if you'd like additional information, or if there's a specific topic that you would like us to cover. Thank you again for joining our webinar.